Hey everybody, it's Jess with Make It Monday number 6. I have a piece of Summer Sunrise cardstock from Paper Tray Ink, cut to a standard A2 size, a piece of pattern paper from October Afternoon Campfire, and a piece of cream already pre-cut and ready to go for later. We are going to be doing something I call reverse stamping, and it'll show you how to get a little more play out of some of the stamps you already own. What you need to do is take a clear stamp that has a large surface area in the background and flip it over on the block so that the flat side is facing up and the pattern side is to the block, opposite of what you would normally do. Then you take the stamp that you want to reverse stamp with and stamp it on there very carefully. It takes me a few times to get a really good image out of this, just because when you press one clear stamp to the back of another clear stamp, it slips. So you have to be really careful, and sometimes it takes a few tries before you get a good image. But I have one, it took me a couple tries, I got one that I thought looked pretty good, and it won't be as crisp as if I was just stamping it, it's not a perfect representation of it. So what I'm going to do is take my Memento Tuxedo Black marker and just trace around the outside of the fox, just so it's a little bit more crisp. It doesn't look quite as grainy as it did when I just stamped it on immediately. So what I want to have here are these two foxes that are in love. So I wanted them to be facing so their noses could almost be touching. And I am going to color them in with some Prismacolored pencils and mineral spirits. And I've used these in another video, but I thought I would just quickly go over how I do this technique, just because I think it's a fun and easy one, so I wanted to share it with you guys. When I start to color the fox, I color wherever I want the darkest shading to be. I color that in really dark with the colored pencil. And then I just lightly color with the colored pencil everywhere else. So you can see I'm kind of have some shading on his paws and the tail there and the top of his head. So now I'm taking a paper stub. You can get those at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And I'm dipping it into the odorless mineral spirits there. And I am just starting at the base where the color is the most concentrated, where I've done the most shading, and bringing the mineral spirits up. So it'll look totally shaded. The bottom will be darker and the top will be lighter. This is an easy effect to do with just one colored pencil. I love, the simplicity of that, and how you don't have to have, 3 matching Copics. Even though I do love Copics, this is just such an easy technique, and it's a fun one to try too. So you can see I've got the majority of the body done, and I have the tail done there, and I'm just going back with a little bit more. The more you add, I think the smoother the whole thing looks. So I just go around and add a little extra mineral spirits. I like to go in small circles when I do it, just because I think it helps not look so liney. But you can do whatever you think looks the best. And I encourage you to try this out. It's a really fun and easy technique to do. So I'm done coloring that fox. I'm going to color the other one here a little bit more red than that one. That one was more brown. And then I just cut them out using my Cutter Bee scissors. Now I am taking that Memento marker, except I'm using the other side, the brush side, and just going around so you don't see any of that cream edge on the other side. Now we are going to make the background of our card, and we are using the pine tree from that, I don't know if I ever said the name of that set, that's Lawn Fawn Critters in the Forest. And I'm taking the pine tree from that set and just stamping it in the background on that cream cardstock I showed you at the beginning. And we are going to do the colored pencil technique again on the pine trees. So again, I'm just going to color the bottom a little bit darker and the top a little bit lighter. And you can use multiple colors, that would even give it a little more depth. I just wanted something quick and easy here, so that's why I just did the one, but definitely experiment with it. All right, now I have both of my trees colored in, and I am ready to kind of start putting things together. I'm going to ink the outside with Antique Linen, my favorite distress ink. and just go around all the edges just to add a little depth there. And I'm going to do this on all of the elements of this card just to kind of add a cohesive look. I am inking the outside of the Summer Sunrise cardstock in antique linen, and then as well as that piece of pattern paper there, which the orange in that pattern paper is a perfect match with the Summer Sunrise, so that was a happy accident. I've used that combo on one other card, and I think it looks really awesome together. Now I am just taking my ATG here, which was acting really fussy when I was using it, and putting the whole thing together. So I'm mounting that on there. And then I debated if I was going to mount this with dimensionals, but I thought I'd just keep it flat because we have a lot of other stuff going on. So I am mounting that on there with my ATG. And I am just going to set the little foxes on there to kind of see where I want them placed. I felt like the trees needed some grounding, so I'm just adding a little hint of shadowing there with the antique linen. I love doing that for shadowing. It's a really easy technique. So I want some hearts to be coming out of these two little love foxes, so I am stamping, or not stamping, but punching rather, with a small dollar bin heart punch from Michaels, and then I think that's, I'm not sure what kind of punch that is, but another medium-sized heart punch. And I'm going to take my wood grain background stamp from Hero Arts and ink it up with antique linen. I didn't need to ink up the whole thing, but I wanted to make sure all the hearts got covered with this little wood grain pattern just to kind of tie the trees in and the nature feel in. And so then I'm also going to just add a little distress ink to the outside of them just so the edges look a little bit more finished. And it's really hard to do on those little tiny baby ones. But I wanted the hearts to be coming, you know, out of their brains kind of just to signal that they're in love. And the sentiment I'm going to use for this card that I'm about to stamp is from that same set, the Critters in the Forest, and it says, "I pine for you," which I thought was a cute pun with the trees in the background and my love foxes. So I stamped that one on there, and I am going to mount the foxes on there with dimensional adhesive. I believe that is 1/8 inch. And I'm just going to pop them on there. I actually moved them a little bit, even more. After I filmed, I moved them a little bit more apart. That's a good thing about dimensionals, is they have a little bit of give to them for a while after you first mount them. So you can kind of mess with them and see where exactly you want your elements to be placed. Now I am putting my hearts on there how I think I want them. And I'm taking the Zig two-way glue pen to glue them on there. That is a really fine tip on it, and I use that for paper piecing. And, you know, anytime I need to glue these really tiny elements onto a card, I think that that pen definitely works the best. So I hope you guys enjoyed the card today. I hope you will try reverse stamping. It really gives you a lot of options with stamp sets you already own. You can see I added some pearls in the corner there after I was done, and that's about it. Thanks for watching, you guys.